once again everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a story time video for you about my experience at a Roach Motel. Now let me just preface this by saying everybody talks about Roach Motels like, oh, I stayed at this really awful hotel, they didn't have any Wi-Fi, it was super like dark and dank and like grungy looking. Oh, it was such a Roach Motel. No, girl. No. You cannot say that you stayed at a Roach Motel if there was not an actual roach in the room. Because let me just tell you, what you're about to hear is going to disturb you, because I was disturbed living this situation. Okay, girl? Okay. Let's just jump right into this, shall we? In the comfort of my bathroom. Let's just jump right into this. So, basically, what happened was, I went on a little trip with my mom and my aunt and my cousin this weekend, and we were headed to Caddo Gap, Arkansas. So what we were going to do is we were going to stay at this little campground, and they have little cabins and places to tent camp and places to park your RV or whatever, and so we were going to go stay at a cabin. We had originally intended to leave on Saturday, well, we originally intended to leave on Friday at about noon, and it only takes 4 to 5 hours to get there from where I live. So we would get there 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. So we were going to stay at the Arlington Hotel, which is in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Now, for whatever reason, we didn't end up doing that, and my aunt called to reserve another cabin. We had already reserved a cabin for Saturday night, Sunday night, and then we would leave on Monday morning. So she called to reserve an A-frame cabin for Friday night, and then we would just switch cabins and everything would be okay. So she called, she booked the cabin, paid like $80 for this cabin for one night, and everything was cool. So we go up there and we get to this campground type thing, and they're like, oh no, we made a mistake, we double booked this and now you can't stay here. And my aunt's like, what do you mean we can't stay here? I already paid, you already charged me, what are you talking about? Like, my debit card has been charged, I can show you. And they're like, I'm sorry, we've double booked it, I can't do anything about it, you can't stay here tonight. And we're like, we just drove 5.5 hours to this campground to stay here, what do you mean I can't stay here? So my aunt asked them, where's the nearest hotel? And now there are 3 or 4 hotels in this town, not Caddo Gap, but in Glenwood. There are 3 or 4 hotels. So she just like says a name of a hotel. I'm not going to tell you the exact hotel. I'm just not going to do that, but it's a really gross hotel. And so we get up there and we check in, and first of all, the guy who's owning this place with his wife, they don't speak English very well. It was this little Indian man and his wife, not like Native American, but like from India. They like own this hotel, but they don't speak English very well, so it's kind of hard to communicate like what the situation is, you know. But we wanted to tell them like what was happening, because as soon as we pull up, the man comes running out and he's like, because we have all this stuff in the back of the truck, like we have all our clothes and our bags and all this stuff, and he's like, what is all that? You can't bring all that in here, like you can't bring all that stuff into the room. And we're like, no, we're not taking it all into the room, we're just gonna bring our clothes and stuff in there. We were supposed to camp at this campground, but like we can't because they double booked it, so we can't stay there. But we're not gonna take all this huge stuff, like we had like lawn chairs and everything. We weren't going to take all that in there. We're like, no, we're just bringing our bags and everything in. We're not going to take all of it. And he was like, okay. So my aunt goes in to like book the hotel room, and everything was cool, and we were just going to go in there. He gave us a discount for the Mexican place next door. Everything was cool. So we like backed the truck up to the hotel, or the motel room rather. It's not really a hotel. Backed up to the motel room. Get in there, put all our stuff down, and we start unloading everything else. So my mom and my aunt were the ones that were unloading everything because my cousin hadn't got there yet. He took his own vehicle up there. So it was just me and my mom and my aunt in my aunt's truck. So we were just kind of up there, and my mom and my aunt were going to unload everything because there was a specific way that they wanted to do it, and they told me not to worry about it, so I just went into the motel room. So I went in there and I was like trying to get the TV to work, like changing it to whatever channel I wanted to watch. And outside it said that it had free Wi-Fi. And this isn't really a big deal in this situation, but I'm just going to include it. Basically, they advertise that they have free Wi-Fi, but their Wi-Fi doesn't work at all for anybody. Didn't work for me, didn't work for my mom, didn't work for my aunt at all. It didn't work. So we didn't have Wi-Fi, even though they advertised free Wi-Fi. Whatever, not a big deal, because I have data on my phone. No worries. So I'm like getting all my stuff unpacked, trying to decide like where's my mom. Like me and my mom are going to share a bed, and my aunt and my cousin will share another bed because why not? And so I'm like, we're trying to pick our beds and everything. Of course it's just 2 beds, but we wanted to decide. So I'm over here by this first bed, like looking for a phone charger because my phone was like half dead because I was listening to music on the way. So I'm like looking around for a phone charger, for like an outlet to plug my phone in. And I lean over behind the bed, and there's an actual roach, like huge roach, crawling on the wall. I'm like, are you serious? Like, is this real life? I'm like, what? And it's not like, here's the bed and here's the roach. It's like, here's the bed, here's the roach. Because the outlet is like halfway behind the bed and halfway out. The roach was like right above it. Like right above the outlet. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, is this real life? Like, what is happening? This place did not look that bad. It looked pretty okay. And then when you get inside, it stinks. Like, it just smells horrible. Like, I don't want to be super gross or anything, but if you know anybody who like chews tobacco and like spits or like has a spit cup, it smells like a spit cup. This whole room smells like a spit cup. What? Like, I can overlook that. We can spray some Lysol. It's okay. But when I get in there and there is a roach right next to the bed that I'm supposed to be sleeping in, like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Like, what? What? That's ridiculous. That is mind-boggling. I've never been in a situation like that. I've never been in a hotel that had actual roaches. That is disgusting. Like, what else do you have? If you have roaches, it's not that far-fetched to imagine that there might be some other creepy crawly living in this hotel, okay? So I'm not okay with that. So I run outside and tell my mom, sorry I went off on that rant. So I went outside to tell my mom, I'm like, Mom, there's a roach in here. And she's like, no, there's not. So she comes in there and the roach is still there. And she's like, oh my God, there's a roach. And I'm like, yeah, there's a roach. I'm like, I'm not staying here. I'm not sleeping in that bed, no. And she's like, well, it's fine. I'll just kill it. So she kills it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. We don't look for any more roaches. So I go back outside and I'm like helping my aunt and my mom unload stuff. And then when we get it all unloaded, everybody comes inside to like set their like bags down, you know, like your personal bag with all your clothes and everything. So we set all that stuff down, and my mom brought comforters and stuff and sheets and like pillows, because at the campground you're supposed to bring your own stuff because they just have like the mattresses and everything, and it's fine. So my mom gets out like her comforter and everything because she doesn't really trust this bedding situation, so she wants to use her own. So she goes to put everything on her bed that I'm supposed to be sleeping in with her. There's another roach crawling on the pillow. On the pillow. What? Are you serious right now? There was not one roach. There were 2 that we know of. 2 roaches. 2. In this hotel, in the bed. In the bed that I'm supposed to be sleeping in? Really? Really, girl? Really? Really? That's interesting. That is interesting to me. So I tell my aunt, I'm like, girl, we really shouldn't stay here. Like, there's other hotels in this town. They gotta be better than this. Anything would be better than this, I'm telling you. And she's just like, no, it'll be fine. We'll just stay here. I've stayed in worse. I'm like, I haven't. No, girl, I haven't. Why are we here? What time? Like, what? So we've established that this is an actual roach hotel. Literally, there are just roaches everywhere. We don't know how many there are. We know that there's 2. We don't know if there's more because we're too scared to look. We did check for bed bugs. No bed bugs that we saw, but I didn't sleep in the bed, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let's go back to the owners. So we know that the man didn't want us to bring all of this stuff into this hotel room, which is fine. That's reasonable because we did have a lot of stuff with us because we were going to the cabin. And so we just brought in, like, you know, the basics. And so he's out there watching us this whole entire time. Like, he's watching. He's standing right there like this, watching us. And I'm like, boy, why are you watching us? Like, we're not gonna take everything inside. It's okay. I'm not gonna take all of this stuff into this tiny hotel room that has roaches. I'm not gonna do it. I do not want roaches at my house. No, girl, no. We don't want that. So he stood out there for an hour, an entire hour. Like, even after we got done unloading everything, he was standing there watching us. And he was like coming in the room. He wasn't even knocking. After we went inside, he wasn't even knocking. He just like barges into the room, and I'm like, what if I was naked? What if I was naked? You just run up in here on me, and then I'd have to like smack you across the face or something because you just run up on me naked. Like, that's not okay. Like, I don't care if you own it. If somebody's using this room, knock. Especially when it's 3 women. Like, my cousin wasn't even there yet. So it's like, how are you gonna do that, sir? Sir, how are you gonna do that, Roach Motel owner? So he was like really rude and really weird and creepy. I really didn't like it. And when we told him that the Wi-Fi didn't work, he got really rude about that too. He was like, no, it does work. It does work. Our Wi-Fi does work. We have good Wi-Fi. What are you talking about? And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't work. It doesn't work on my phone, my mom's phone, my aunt's phone. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. I don't think so. So that guy was really creepy, and even after he went inside, his wife kept like walking around because we were like sitting outside the room because we didn't want to be in the room. We were just like sitting outside on those little chairs that are kind of provided, you know? So we're kind of just like sitting out there. Like, I'm sitting on the tailgate of my aunt's truck because it's like backed up, and my aunt and my mom are sitting in chairs, and she's just like walking around like creepily looking at us, like trying to see what we're doing. And I'm just like, dude, we're just sitting out here talking. Like, we're not trying to do anything. Like, why are you watching us? I'm confused. This place is awful. Anyways, so flash forward, the nighttime rolls around, so we have to do some sleeping in this Roach Motel, which, keep in mind, we stayed up like late. We stayed up till like 12 o'clock because we did not want to sleep in those beds. Like, we did not want to do it. And we had to get up early the next day. So we were up till like 12, and then we finally went to sleep. And I told my mom, I was like, I am not sleeping in that bed. There was roaches in that bed. I cannot believe you're gonna sleep in that bed. I can't believe Aunt Carla's gonna sleep in that other bed with Colin. Like, I can't believe y'all are gonna sleep in these beds. And she's just like, it's not that bad, it'll be fine. And I'm like, there are roaches in the bed. There are roaches in the bed. Girl, there are roaches in the bed. And she's like, well, I'm not gonna get under the sheets. I'm gonna use my own pillow, my own comforter. And I'm like, roaches can crawl, girl. Roaches can crawl. They sure can. They will just crawl up on you, even if you're in your own sheets. Like, it's not a big deal to them. They will travel. Whew. So my mom's in one bed, my aunt and my cousin are in the other, and I'm sitting over here in this armchair. I was gonna stay up all night. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was gonna stay up the whole night long, but I got sleepy. at like 2 a.m. I got really tired and I was like, whatever, fine. So there was like, here's an armchair like facing this way, and here's a table. So the table's like right here, and I have my bags and everything on it. So I moved my bag over like on top of an ice chest, and I pull it up like to right here. Like there's still a gap between the armchair and the table, but it's like it's hard to move, so it's like whatever. So I prop my legs up on this table, and I'm like laying in this chair with my head flat down on the cushion with my pillow and my quilt, and I'm just like, please don't bite me, roaches, like please. Like I was freaking out. I was like, how are they sleeping in this bed with these roaches? Like, I'm not doing that. I had checked this armchair. I checked it everywhere. There was no roaches in the armchair, which thank God, had somewhere to sleep, even if it was only for like 4 or 5 hours, whatever. It was awful. Like, this place was so bad. And then the next morning, my aunt has like this bite on her leg, and she's like, I think a roach bit me. And I'm like, I cannot stand bugs, especially roaches, like in the bed with you. Are you serious? So anyway, I know I kind of ranted and rambled a little bit, but it was important to the story, you know. So that's my experience with an actual roach motel. Oh God. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me again today. Leave me a like if you like this video, comment down below, and subscribe because I make new videos every Monday and Friday. Thank you guys once again for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!